Good evening, loungers. I hope everybody is doing as great as I am this evening. Hope everybody had a great work week as I did. And yeah, guys, we've got a few things I want to get into this afternoon in regards to this alleged lawsuit that we have been talking about and have been discussing in the sector. Now, I want to give you guys a little bit of an understanding of where I'm coming from with this. Okay. First of all, I am not a law expert. Okay. I do, however, happen to have discussions sometimes in regards to law with attorneys, okay? Especially if it's something that's concerning me. I mean, I'm a content creator. There's a lot of things that I may say, and I want to make sure that I'm within the realms of the law, before I actually start saying things. So I oftentimes do have conversations in regards to this, and I'm directed to the answers to those things right on the internet, okay? Or even just off the top of their heads as attorneys. So I appreciate the expertise that I do get in those matters. I wanted to discuss some of this stuff that I have learned in regards to defamation and in regards to, how that all kind of works, right? Because, there's a lot of just rumors floating around about what that all means and how that all works and stuff like that. And, we like to have facts around here in the lounge, right? We like to have actual concrete evidence of things as opposed to just our own opinions or somebody else's opinion about things, because opinions can, everybody has one, right? We all know the whole thing about, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and, just because you have an opinion about something doesn't necessarily mean that your opinion is correct. It's always important to check with what the law says in regards to things, before you're just out here jumping up and down, running around with like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to tell everybody about something, and you're kind of uneducated in regards to that. Okay, so we're going to educate ourselves today in regards to defamation, in regards to opinions, and what the differences are. We're also going to talk about damages and how those damages are proven in a court of law regarding defamation, okay? Because that's what all of this is about. So we're definitely going to get into that today. I do want to show you guys one other thing before we do get into that. So I'm going to go ahead and play you guys a quick timer, and then we're going to get right into the show, okay? So make sure you guys sit back and relax. Grab yourself some libations. It is after 5 o'clock over here on the East Coast. So make sure y'all go ahead and grab you a quick libation or something, and then we're going to get into it. We're not going to be very long tonight, but we're definitely going to get into these hot topics. again, I hope everybody is doing as great as I am today. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. And I definitely appreciate everybody who's in the chat as well as in the clouds and everybody that will catch the replay as well. Shout out to Defrauding. I appreciate you being in the building today. You said, hey, what's up? You said, was I the first one here? Yes, you were the first one here today. Shout out to you and Teresa, because Teresa is usually the first one that hits my chat, but she might be resting or something. I mean, it is Friday. You know, everybody's kind of getting ready for the weekend, you know, so that's probably what's going on. And I just actually got off from work. So, hey, the beautiful Bernice, definitely appreciate you for being in the building as well. Miss Murph, I appreciate you being in the building as well, sis. He said, hey, Miss T. Pre, mods in chat. Hey, Living Life, I appreciate my sister from across the water. Definitely appreciate you being in the building today. You said, good afternoon, Miss T. Pre. And you said, hey to Miss Murph. You said, hey to beautiful Bernice, Defrauding Charlatans, and the beautiful Bernice. So listen, guys, what we're going to talk about first, before we get into all the sector bullshit, right? Because we know there'd be a lot of bullshit going on in the sector. Hold on, let me turn this off real quick. We'd be hearing a lot of bullshit in the sector, and there's a lot of people that are being threatened to be sued and all this other bullshit, okay? And we're definitely going to get into the facts of that matter and what's going on with that, okay? But before we do, I'm actually going to play a really crazy video for y'all. Hey, Very Perspectives, I definitely appreciate you being in the building as well. I'm going to play for you guys a really crazy video, okay? Because one of my favorite content creators named Crazy Quady, he does camping, right? He was talking about how his dad used to be a health inspector, okay? And how he used to tell like these horror stories about like school lunchrooms and like all kinds of crazy stuff, right? So it kind of inspired me to just go out and watch some of these videos and just look that up like, hey, you know, what do health inspectors talk about, you know, and stuff like that. And man, it only took one video for me to go and look at and listen to. And I said, I've got to share this shit with the sector. Okay. So we're definitely going to get into that first, and then we'll get into this crazy ass lawsuit. Okay. That allegedly is supposed to be going on. So again, make sure y'all hit the like button on the way in. And I'm going to play this video first for you guys. And then we're going to get into some commentary on that. And it's not going to be much because there really isn't much to talk about after listening to this. But yeah, after you guys hear this, you probably will be a little bit grossed out. But yeah, guys, okay. It's just a reminder of, you know, paying attention to the places that you go out to eat and stuff like that, and the things that are surrounding you, and restaurants and quick restaurants that we like to go to and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and just listen in on this conversation. Okay. Hit the like button, guys.
Health inspectors of Reddit. What's the worst thing you've ever
Just
found
went
when inspecting
through
a restaurant
fair
slash
use.
shop? I can tell you what they didn't find. When I worked at Denny's, when the health inspector came, the cooks took all of the expired food out of the fridge and stored it in their cars and by the dumpster until the health inspector left, and then they put it all back. I ended up quitting that job after I got written up for refusing to change the dates on the labels of all the expired food, which was one of the primary jobs of the graveyard server. I have never been so glad I can't eat at Denny's because of my allergies. That's incredible. Wow, that's really bad. Surely it's only up from here. Story 2. A tuna canning plant in Los Angeles was off of Terminal Island. The processing plant owned the entire island a few miles offshore. Needless to say, had to take a boat to the plant to look at some machinery that they needed repaired. We get to the plant and there are dozens of cats inside the plant, outside the plant, warehouse, etc., everywhere. Nobody said anything. They were even in the office building. After a few trips, I finally asked. One guy said in a joke, "It's either rats or cats, and we don't have a rat problem." Story 3. Not a health inspector, but heard this story through a guy who services my soft serve machines. As info for those not in the ice cream business, most soft serve machines need to be cleaned, meaning fully disassembled, scrubbed, and sanitized at least weekly, some every 3 days. He got a call from a woman complaining that the vanilla side of her machine was coming out with black specks in it. Was worried it might be grinding up an O-ring or worse. He took off the head of the machine and claims he nearly lost his lunch, as the barrel was infested with cockroaches. Apparently, the woman had never cleaned the machine in the several months she had been open. Somehow, the roaches got into it. At night, the barrel stops freezing and just keeps the mix cool so it returns to a liquid, and were being ground up and expelled as additional protein. How long has it been doing this? About a week. Ugh. Story 4. So many horrible Chinese restaurants in this thread, so I thought I would give a shout out to the one I used to work at years ago. The owner was meticulous about cleanliness. Every night, the kitchen staff would scrub the floor and everything else down with soap and hot water. The dishwasher ran so hot you could see the steam rising and had to wait for them to cool down before you could touch them without burning your hands. That place was clean and served some of the best Chinese food. The owner eventually retired and sold his land. Boy, do I miss the hot and sour soup. I feel like the stereotype is that I don't know what to call it, the foreign ethnic cuisine, whatever you want to say, tends to have worse standards in their kitchens, but I don't know. I've definitely been to a Chinese by, very Chinese people. And yeah, the kitchens and stuff, they weren't like the best. But at the same time, I've been to plenty where, I mean, I haven't been in the back, but like I've known people who have been or worked in the back, and they said that it's fine. So I don't know where that stereotype comes from. That being said, I'm sure we're about to hear some horrible stories later down about Chinese food, so I'm gonna eat my words. And hopefully, not their food. Story 5. High-end Thai place in a popular tourist area. Go downstairs to the kitchen to open up their freezer. On the top shelf of the freezer, they're storing loose beef, pork, and chicken in 3 separate piles. The meat aren't in any containers. They are all sitting on a large piece of cardboard the restaurant had placed on the bottom of the shelf. We poke the cardboard, and our finger goes right through it. The juices from the 3 meats had turned the cardboard into pulp. We then noticed it dripping from the combined sludge of chicken, pork, and beef blood. From the looks of the cardboard, it had been dripping for a while. We look to the shelf below and see the results of the drip. Underneath the meats in the shelf second from the top, the restaurant was storing 3 buckets of ice cream without lids, directly under the meat drip. We look inside the ice cream containers and see congealed, partially frozen, cardboard laced raw meat drippings pooled in the center of each tub of ice cream. None of the ice creams were more than halfway full. We ask the kitchen manager how long they've been storing their items like this. He doesn't remember. At least a few months. My theory is because the place was a nice restaurant, and B, an ethnic restaurant, patrons were less likely to complain about the odd flavors. For example, instead of complaining about blood in the ice cream, wondering out loud if that taste is star anise. That's one of the few inspections that made me physically sick. Place still got an A because the restaurant grade system in my city is about as effective as the TSA. Bro, I don't know how you stick with your job after that, to be honest. I would just feel so bad seeing that and knowing that people are still being served.
Shout out to you, Brown Sugar Baby, for the $20 super chat. I definitely appreciate that. I know you guys are just as grossed out as I am, okay? We got a couple more minutes to go, y'all. We're going to get through this. Y'all tough, okay? Y'all part of the sector. Y'all tough. Y'all can take it.
I don't know if I could take it. Story 6. So a friend of mine is a health inspector. She walks into a local convenience store and discovers a litter box behind the counter, totally unacceptable. Tells the proprietor that he needs to get rid of the litter box. That's kind of a health code violation. He replies, "Well, it's for the cat. We've been having mice/rat issues." To which she's all, "Oh." Cat walks up. She tells him he can't have a cat in a food establishment. He hands the cat to his wife and she takes it out of the store to their camper trailer nearby the store. Waits for her to leave, rinse, and repeat. Story 7. Health inspector here. Here are my top 3. 1. An old liquor store, which had once been the front unit of a housing duplex, had now converted into a full-service deli. Sandwiches, fried chicken, etc., without plan review, so they were severely lacking all the proper space and equipment. Observed were rat infestation, droppings everywhere, mountains of old cast-off equipment in the back, giving the rats a home, meat defrosting on the hood of an inoperable car in the side alley, back unit of duplex now converted to food storage had unfinished wooden boards on the floor, which were now soft and rotting from soaked up years of meat juice and everything else. 2. While inspecting a Chinese buffet, I noted to the employees that there were tubs of frozen fried shrimp stacked on top of one another without covers, so they needed to discard the top layer.
They're coming straight in.
All right, we got a commercial. Y'all know I'm cheap. Y'all know I don't pay for this shit. All right, it's coming back.
Layers of the food and put on the tub lids. As they scrambled to do so, they knocked over the tower of shrimp, spilling it everywhere. As I was standing there, they hurriedly started scooping the shrimp off the floor and back into the tubs. I'm standing right here, guys. 3. A guy ordered commercial sausage making equipment delivered to his private home. Manufacturer got suspicious and tipped off the health department. Turns out the guy would go hunting all sorts of exotic game meat without permits, and then process them into sausages in his rat infested garage, droppings the size of jelly beans, and sell them to the public. Don't buy food from home cooks, folks. Story 8. So this is from the other side, but quite unique. A long time ago when I was in college, I used to maintain aquariums. Quite a few were in restaurants. There was an old school seafood restaurant that had a ton of tanks, great customers, and a cool place. I would be out there at least once a week for half a day making everything spotless. This was before cell phones, you youngsters. I'm in class and my pager, yes, pager, is blowing up from their number. I call and one of the Mexican staff picks up, and all I could gather is, "Please, Mr. Fishman, you come now. Very big problem. Emergency." I head out there and there are health inspectors there. So for all the tanks I take care of, if a fish dies, I ask the owner to put it in a bag and freeze it so I can take a look and see if I can figure out why it kicked the bucket. Well, one of their very old and very large and pretty beat up blue tangs, Dory, had died, and they had froze it per instructions. The inspectors show up to the seafood restaurant, and the first thing they see is this decrepit old fish that had been munched on by the other fish in the tank alongside the catch of the day. It was before opening, and only the Mexican staff were there who had no idea how to explain it. I got it sorted out, but kinda funny. Story 9. Was a health inspector long ago. Was at a GC going through the kitchen area. As I was squatting down to check a dishwasher, my foot broke through the tile floor and into a sewer pipe that ran underneath. Cockroaches come boiling out of the hole. Turns out the entire floor was rotten from a water leak in the sewer pipe. Best/worst part, the general manager tried to fight me when I told them they had to close down until they fixed the open hole into a pipe full of cockroaches and waste. I don't get why the general manager would be so upset about that. At some point, you just gotta be like, yeah, that's so true. And what, repairing that couldn't take too long. Just like expedite the process, maybe pay a little extra, be open sooner. It's you gotta do it. Story 10. In the mid 80s, I managed a pizza delivery store, and the health inspector came by kind of late and asked me to step outside. He started by apologizing, but it was his job to follow up when they have a specific complaint concerning food safety, but this one was odd. He proceeded to tell me a customer complained that while they were in the store, two male workers banged on the counter and didn't even wash their hands. I just very dryly responded that that couldn't have happened, as we always wash our hands after banging on the cutting table. With a small grin, he said, that's what he thought, and he appreciated our efforts. He was our inspector for several years after that. Story 11. Don't trust any restaurant. As someone who has an MPH and taken a number of food safety inspection courses, yet who eats out more than he should, it's tough. In the early/mid 20th century, the restaurant industry was one of the few open to immigrants. Social stereotypes about minorities contributed greatly to the view that Chinese/Mexican/Indian restaurants are dirty. This view is unfortunately corroborated by a large amount of anecdotal evidence. There is a Chinese restaurant 2 blocks from me that has been cited with numerous health violations, and also a local Mexican restaurant which was closed down. Rest in peace, Margarita Mamas. The lesson, though, isn't to avoid Chinese or Mexican restaurants. It's to avoid any restaurant you don't trust, especially if they seem to have a strong incentive to cut corners. Make sure your food is cooked properly, temperature not pink in the middle, etc. If the front or bathrooms are dirty, that's a big red flag that the kitchen is also dirty. Also realize that every time you eat out, you're taking a risk. Story 12. I used to work on my own as a baker in a supermarket, and the cleaners would come in at 10 p.m. at night when the last worker left, and he would be finished by 2 a.m. when I arrived. Well, one day I was half an hour early and I walked up to my department, and the cleaner was mopping the prep tables and the equipment with the same water he had used to clean the floor. I wish I was joking. To use the mop on the tables to begin with is stupid, but he was using the same water as well? Insane. I told his boss when he came in because I simply had to, and his face was a picture. He really didn't believe me until I got him to have a look at the CCTV. Oh, I forgot. He wasn't even supposed to touch the machinery, by the way. That was my job. So he was dirtying my already clean equipment. Story 13. Not a health inspector, but I used to be a busboy at a nice Italian restaurant in my hometown. We had problems with the Chinese place across the street because we found out that they'd been taking the lettuce that we throw in the dumpster at the end of the night. Our manager used to stand outside and guard the dumpster so they wouldn't take our garbage. Another experience working at a local cafe. I was cutting up cheese from a walk-in fridge, and I found a hole in the cardboard box that the cheese was kept in. Turned out it was from rats or mice, and they were eating the cheese. Told my manager about it, and he told me to cut around the bite marks and still use the cheese. Left that job shortly after. Dumpster diving for ingredients for your restaurant is certainly a strategy. It is one tactic that you can use. I wouldn't eat there though, personally. Story 14. I once finished up a foodborne illness investigation, not finding much that could have caused the illness, and left. I parked my car on the side of the street in full view of the restaurant I was just at. I watched the dishwasher come out the back door, light a cigarette, smoke for a minute, then hunch over and puke all over the grass. Then he took another drag and went back inside. I have mild emetophobia, so I got a bit of a cold sweat, then ran across the street and basically dragged his butt outside. I've got a lot of stories, but that was the worst for me. Story 15. I found a quarter hotel pan under a condenser inside a fridge on the line at the Waffle House. During my training, I kept asking the manager why there was water pooling out of the fridge, why the waffle batter was sitting in a puddle, and why she was wiping it off with a towel for brushing crumbs off the sandwich board. She told me the night crew would fix it. They do a training regiment of first shift, then second, and then if you were hired for it, you get put on your third shift. The reason being that the cook is in charge overnight, and the manager on duty is supposed to work the line in the morning rush. Anywho, I got a 2-day illness with the usual liquids coming out at both ends. I called out for my shift that was to begin in 6 hours, and told them to not expect me the next day. I'd gotten my roommate a job a couple weeks before then. He got sick the next day and called in with the same symptoms. They just fired him because of the probationary period. They called me, shocked that I wasn't there, and I reminded them of the giant poster stating that it was illegal for me to work. The next day when I came in, she had the district manager there, and they said that I would be fired if I didn't sign a write-up for not clearly communicating with them. I told them that what they were doing was illegal, and scribbled on it the symptoms I had called out for. Well, I get on the night shift and get ready to deep clean. That is when I found the hotel pan. It was overflowing with water and filled with cultures of such large, distinct, and multicolored fungi and bacteria that I couldn't help but geek out. It was beautiful. I wrapped that bad boy up in plastic wrap and set it to the side. Got a new batch of cleaning buckets and towels and cleaned the rest of the equipment. I finished by giving that fridge a couple over with special care to clean the condenser. Then I pulled out the beautiful hotel pan and just started snapping pictures. Joked around with the waitress and got her hyped to clean the windows, fixtures, and then taught her how to clean an ice machine. We went ahead and added all of the black rags from that to our photo gallery. I moved my way to the back and finished the storage fridges up and got the prep sink. It was supposed to be a 3-stager and they had turned the actual prep sink into a mop bucket. By this point, the old men are lining the high bar for their coffee and flirting with my waitress when the regional manager walks. See, the unit manager gets a day off, and the district manager goes from store to store covering that day. But the district manager also gets a day, and so the regional manager shuffles through all of his stores by covering the different district managers' days, covering the unit manager's days off. I gotta say, I think it's kinda cool that the guy making $120,000 flips eggs too. But he didn't think it was cool that it was 30 minutes to rush and the cutting boards were gone. Well, I told him a fun and exciting story, finished up sanitizing the boards, and then whipped out the photos. I think the best part was explaining how my symptoms, the epidemiology, and casualness about standing water led me to call the CDC tip line created to assist in the Legionnaires outbreak that had been reported in the news that week. I'm not one for anonymity, and was a bit peeved at my manager writing me up for taking off the legally required time. I almost felt bad for getting the UM and DM salaries halved overnight, but I'll be damned if I didn't warn them over and over that they were breaking the Waffle House way, health code, and state law. They'd even hired me because I said I went to culinary school instead of high school, and 80% of cooking is cleaning. Plus, by that point, I knew beyond all doubt that their asses had caused 3 actual deaths because they didn't want to lose a bonus. This is
Okay, so I think I'm about done with that video. I just wanted you guys to kind of get a prelude to this because, first of all, watch where you're going to eat at, okay? But the particular reason why I really wanted to play this video at this particular time, and before we talk about this lawsuit, is because some of us are business owners, right? We actually care about the image of our business. We care about the things that people say and the different reviews that people will leave for your business, right? You never want anybody to leave a bad review, and particularly if it's something that really is your fault and something that you really can prevent, right? So it's very important that you particularly maintain a good business, that you're following the laws, and that you're doing various things to make sure that your business is up to par. You also want to carry yourself a certain way, okay? You want to make sure that you're carrying yourself with dignity. You make sure that you're carrying yourself, not in a way that would cause harm to the public, and things of that nature. or giving your business a bad light, which would cause, you to lose money or cause you to lose profits, with your business just based off of your behavior and things along those lines. Okay. So that definitely leads into this conversation in regards to what's been going on between P and G Gates lately in regards to this alleged lawsuit that P now wants to file against G Gates. Okay. And, it's based off of what he says was a text message that came through from his partner at this food trailer, that said, and we're just going to go over that. So shout out to Slander God because he had a very, very good show today. I would like to play a portion of his show that was played today because I would like you guys to hear what P said in regards to this text message and this message that came through to his partner in regards to what's been going on with this food truck. Okay, so I definitely want to go over that and just kind of give you guys an understanding of where P is coming from with all this and how upset he is and why he's upset in regards to this matter. Okay, now make sure y'all hit the like button real quick. I'm going to go ahead and find this timestamp because I really want you guys to kind of really hear what P was saying and why he was so, upset in regards to this matter. Okay, because again, some of us might think that, this really, is a thing. Some of us might think this really isn't a thing. Okay. And I'm going to tell you guys what my opinion is of it at the end of this. But I definitely want to play this part and at least we're going to hear him out and hear what he felt in regards to this. Okay. So for those of y'all that don't know, P, the panel killer, one of our own in the sector, he actually showed us a few weeks ago a food trailer and claimed that he was part owner of this business. Okay. There have been some people in the recon teams that have done their work in the sector, as we all know how the sectors, right? And they've looked out and looked into this situation. And it turns out that there is a gentleman that actually owns this food truck named Broman or Broman sandwiches or something like this. Okay. And there's plenty of photos and plenty of things on his Facebook that advertises the business. It's very similar to what any food truck or any, restaurant business would do. They generally will show photos of, the owners, show them in action, show people coming to the business. They will show the actual food that they're putting out. Really great looking food. I actually plan on going to the food truck at some point whenever I do visit that area. And so, I would definitely give a review on it and let you guys know what it tastes like. And it's not because I really want to be out here, disrespecting P or anything like that. I just like to support Black business. So most definitely I do plan on coming to this business and checking it out and seeing what's going on. But P said some very, very key points today that I would like you guys to hear. And again, I'm not taking anybody's side. Okay. I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying G Gates is right. We're just going to go by the facts, okay? And we're going to go by the law, okay? And that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get into this right now. We're going to first listen in on what P said and why he's so upset and what his plans are in regards to this, okay? Let's go ahead and listen to this. And again, we're going to play this in fair use. Shout out to Slander God. I'm pretty sure he doesn't mind if I replay the video, but I'm going to go ahead and play this now, okay? And we're only going to play a couple of minutes of it. Make sure you guys hit the like button and make sure y'all go over and subscribe to Positively Hate if you have not already.
The way quit looking through Wonderland, nigga.
I get what you say. You just posted on your YouTube channel. Okay, I get what you say. Okay.
My YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? And some YouTube and some content creator, nigga, is slandering me, nigga. Saying I'm not who I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't do what I do. So you're looking at it like it's me, but like if this was D Rail or some shit like that, y'all niggas would be like, oh, You know what I'm saying?
They've done it to the real. They've done it to him. They reached out to his boys and all that
shit. And was he sitting there like, well, this ain't no big thing. Niggas, fucking with my business. No, this nigga.
No. He was serious about it. You
know what I'm saying? Alan's sitting up here talking about motherfuckers, talking about him when he's doing his job, giving a massage, right?
Yep.
but he co-signed this fuck shit right here.
He's a
You know what I mean?
follower. He's a follower. That's what he doesn't have a backbone.
Look, here's the thing. At the end of the day, it don't matter what the sector believe or don't believe. You see what I'm saying? Like I told y'all from day one, like I'm a real motherfucker. And y'all been listening to fake so long, you don't know real when you hear it, nigga. And I'm gonna have to let this nigga find out the fucking hard way, nigga. Like we ain't no two random niggas, bro. This is my frat brother. So that means I'm a fraternity man, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you pissing us off, you pissing our fraternity off, for starters, nigga. All right? This ain't no random nigga. This is my fraternity brother. I ain't no random nigga. You feel me? So you put your fucking foot in it, nigga. Because you think you know, but you don't know, nigga. Nigga, you don't know how financially deep I am with this motherfucking shit. Nigga, you think you know my...
Okay, so let me give you guys a little bit of background because I really don't want to go back and go further back and pay more attention to that. Basically, what he's saying is there's somebody in the sector, okay? We don't know who it is, but somebody in the sector allegedly went out and decided to send a text message to the alleged partner of the food trailer, okay? Letting them know some things. And we're going to let P tell you guys what was said in the text message. So let's go ahead and finish out, guys. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Hey, Messy Mona, appreciate you being in the building. And everybody else that came in as well.
My fucking business? You're going to find out the hard way, nigga.
I agree. That is very fucked up for someone to go that route with it.
So as a result of you, the ripple effect is niggas got... See, that was your dagger, nigga, because of what you said. You got a nigga calling my partner. I'm gonna read y'all the motherfucking message. You stupid motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? This is a result of your foolishness. Nigga, this motherfucker said, I just want to inform you, the business owner of Bromance, that his or her business reputation has been put at risk from someone on YouTube named P. He's claiming to be partners and at the same time sharing your trailer online while disparaging women pulling out guns, threatening folks. This could lead to bad reviews and loss.
That's true. Now, I want to stop that there real quick because I really want to make something very clear, okay? What you said, P, was this person hit your alleged, business partner, okay, and told them that a guy named P, right, which is your name here on YouTube, your RP the Panel Killer. So this is a true statement so far. A guy named P has been on YouTube showing your business, showing your trailer business, okay, and went inside, showed the inside, the outside, and so forth and so on, okay, and is still at the same time disrespecting women, threatening people with guns and all kinds of stuff. These are all facts, right? This isn't anything that you haven't actually done. You definitely did on Pill Show, cam up and brandish a gun, okay, to G Gates, threatened him, threatened his wife. You threatened multiple women in the sector, okay? And so these things are true. And I want you to be reminded of one particular person, okay? There's a particular guy out here named Sean Puffy Combs who is going through something very similar right now, where he was a part of his own business called Revolt, okay? He was a chairman on Revolt, and he actually stepped down in the past few days based off of the allegations that have come out against him from multiple women, okay, that multiple security officers are corroborating, okay? And now, in order to kind of mitigate the damages and to kind of keep, the sponsors from pulling the plug on Revolt, he decided to step down and step out of the place so that now he's no longer the face of that business. That's not the only place that he lost. He lost endorsements with Ciroc. He lost endorsements with Macy's. He lost endorsements with there's a preparatory school up there, a charter school up in the New York area that he lost the partnership with that. there's a lot of things that he has lost because these companies do not want their name and their brand connected to such behavior. Okay. Things that would, cause distress to women, things that would, be these kinds of things. You don't want your business to be, having reviews on that. And then, you've got sponsors that are kind of pulling the plug, which is where the money comes in as a problem. Okay. So it's very understandable that a person would tell your business partner that this is what's going on with you, because these are facts. Okay. Now, I want to go over with you the difference between defamation, okay, and what and what an opinion is, okay, because a lot of times we tend to think, that there's this issue with giving your opinion in regards to stuff, and how somehow if you give an opinion about someone, that automatically puts you in line, to be sued by somebody. That's not actually the case, okay? And I want you to really understand that while you're going through these YouTube streets, while you're, kind of dealing with people, and while you're, screenshotting people's opinions and stuff like that in comment sections, okay? One of the things that we have done in this sector is we have gotten full-fledged evidence based off of, information that is within the systems of Ohio to prove who actually is the owner of this food trailer as well as this restaurant, okay? It turns out, and even with your own admission, it turns out that you are not on that paperwork. Now, whatever information you guys have behind the scenes with each other, as far as contracts, as far as that, we have no idea, right? That could be something that you two have done under the table that the IRS is not aware of, and so forth and so on, which would also become a possible tax, problem for your partner. Okay. So these are things that, while you're telling the sector these things, these are things that are being relayed to this alleged partner. Okay. So in order for the partner to, even if he's upset or in his bag or anything else, in order for him to bring a lawsuit against someone, or in order for you to bring a lawsuit against someone based off of these conversations that have happened, there has to be proof that there are some damages in place. Okay. Now, what you said on here, which I'm not going to play, I'm going to let you guys go back and listen to Slander Show. What you said on here is that the damages, right, are the people in the sector having conversations about what has been uncovered. Okay. And that, people make jokes, people say things, they laugh, they have an opinion, they talk about you, and all these things. And that is somehow something that you can bring to a court of law. And that is now going to put everybody under the jail over their opinion. Okay. When in actuality, that's actually not the case. And I really want you to know what defamation actually means. Okay. So defamation, P, is the act of communicating false statements about someone that damages their reputation. An opinion is a personal belief or viewpoint that cannot be proven true or false, okay? However, defamation is a different thing. So say, for instance, we said, and I'll just give you an example of how defamation may work in a case like this, right? Say, for instance, we said something like, yeah, P owns that restaurant, or P owns that food trailer, but that food trailer is fully infested with roaches, right? Nobody go there. Don't eat there. You're going to get sick. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. It's fully infested with roaches. You don't want to go to that food trailer, okay? That, if it's not true, would be considered defamation. It could also be considered something that you could hold me liable for in the court of law with damages, because now you possibly have profit loss based off of me spreading that information to a third party, okay? Which libel would be where I'm writing that down, or defamation would mean that I'm actually saying the words to somebody and, a third person. And now there has been, a profit loss for you, or something along those lines. You have experienced emotional distress or something along those lines based off of what I have said and what I have shared with the public. Okay. Again, the actual statement has to be false. Okay. It can't be my opinion. I could say something like, hey, I went to that food trailer, and to me, it looked nasty. I could say something like that, right? That is an opinion. I'm entitled to that opinion. That opinion cannot be proven true or false, okay? Because my idea of nasty might not be your idea of nasty, right? So that, you're not going to collect anything off of me saying that. But if I give a specific thing and say specifically what is going on with this food trailer, and it turns out these are incorrect statements and these are false statements, now we're getting into defamation, where I'm speaking something to a third party that is false. I know it's false, and I'm saying it anyway in order to create and cause harm to you or your business, okay? So you must understand that, because what you're trying to say in regards to, what G Gates is doing, or what G Gates has revealed to the sector, is not defamation in the sense of the law, because these are actually facts, okay? According to the Ohio board, you are not an owner of that business, okay? According to them, according to the state of Ohio, they do not recognize you as the owner of that business. So even if you went to court jumping up and down to a judge, the judge would say the same thing. If you're not actually the owner of the business, I'm not sure why we're here, right? The second thing about that is, when it comes to defamation, right, there has to be something that I'm saying, again, that is not true, okay? So it has to be something that I'm saying that is a blatant lie, that I know is a lie, okay? And then, therefore, we're going from there. So there's two things with that. Number one, you said that there was an anonymous person who called from a 215 number, which, by the way, P, just to let you know, with a Google number or with Text Me Now or something like that, you can pick up any area code in the U.S., okay? It does not have to be in the state that you live in. It does not have to be in the county you live in. It could be anywhere in the U.S. So I can pick up a California phone number living in Delaware, right? I can pick up a Washington state phone number living in Delaware. So even, and a lot of people do that kind of stuff because they want to hide, their identity, right? So, that's kind of a thing. So even if you got this phone number from a 215 number, it doesn't mean it was somebody that was actually in Pennsylvania, which would be in the Philadelphia area, a little bit on the outskirts too, in Darby and other places. You would get a 215 number. Closer to Delaware, you would get 610. A little bit further out, you get 267. There's different area codes in that area, but a 215 number does not automatically, have me believing that somebody in Philadelphia or in the Philadelphia area actually made this text message to your alleged partner, okay? So that's one thing. But also the problem with that is, since that person texted him anonymously, it would be pretty difficult for anybody to figure out who that came from, okay? And that's number one. Number two, the person, according to you and what you said they said, because you said that they told your partner that you are a person named P the Panel Killer that is out here on YouTube disparaging and disrespecting and threatening women, threatening people with guns, and how this type of stuff may in fact bring negative energy to your business and negative reviews to your business. I think that's a very true statement, okay? Considering the fact that these are things that are provable and things that you in fact have done with multiple people and in multiple spaces, okay? So I need you to understand the difference in truth and defamation, okay? Now, because you don't like the idea of it, and I'm not saying it was right or wrong, okay? Because you don't like the idea that someone alerted your, alleged, business partner in regards to this matter, does not make it defamation, and it doesn't make it something that you can now sue somebody over, okay? Again, you have to prove actual damages took place. Now, how to prove damages in a defamation case? The plaintiff must show that a false statement was made about the plaintiff, okay? So you would have to prove to a court these four things: that a false statement was made about you, that the statement was published or communicated to a third party, that the statement was made with negligence and that the statement damaged your reputation. But again, even if the statement damages your reputation, even if the statement is made in negligence, and even if the statement was published to a third party, if it's true, it is not defamation. You got to understand that, okay? So therefore, as a business owner, it is very important for you to follow and, actually follow the law and do some things that, would not have you looking in a bad light in the public if you don't want these things to come public. And then now this is now affecting your business, okay? And if it happens to be so that according to Ohio, that's saying that this isn't your business and that this is this man's business, okay? Your own behavior claiming that you are an owner of this business could actually affect this man's profits, okay? Could affect this man's reputation and so forth and so on. So I need you to stop jumping down the throats of us, telling us that, somehow you have gotten some damages from all of this. No, you really haven't, right? You kind of ruined your own reputation by brandishing a gun online at 70 plus years old. You've kind of ruined your own reputation by disrespecting and disparaging and threatening women all over the place like you've been doing, okay? And doing that, that's kind of what created this firestorm that you're in right now, okay? So I think the best thing to do at this point is to kind of separate yourself from that situation, apologize, acknowledge your part in this, apologize to your alleged business partner, right? Let him know, be upfront with him about what was really going on, and then go from there. Because the next step will be somebody anonymously sending him evidence of all of this, right? Sending him these video clips of you actually doing these things, including showing, the food trailer, showing you brandishing guns against people, showing you threatening to run up on people's wives, showing you threatening to punch women in the face and all this other stuff, calling women all kinds of bitches and all kinds of hoes and bust downs and all these other things that you have been doing, taking week after week after week, disparaging Carrie Ann and all these other women. Before those types of videos get sent to your partner, you need to do damage control with him, not the sector, okay? Because this is beyond your control at this point, sir, okay? At this point, the next best thing to do is to get things right with your alleged business partner and to stop doing what you're doing, okay? Because we really don't give a fuck. Honestly, like G Gates said, none of us really care, whether you own that truck or not. I personally don't, and so forth. If you do, I think that's a great thing, right? I think it's great that Black men are in business. But what I don't think is that it's okay for you to just run around doing whatever you want to, and then, especially in this sector, not expect some blowback from that, okay? And people tend to go after people's money. People tend to go after people's pockets in this sector. It's just something that people do, right? So while you're pointing the fingers at Carrie Ann and all these other people and what they need to sit down and stop doing, you might want to look in the mirror, okay? Because literally an entire full-blown, full-wall mirror is looking you in the face right now, explaining to you why you're in this situation. It has nothing to do with the sector at all. It's all you, sir, okay? So I just wanted to say that, and I'm telling you this with facts. I'm not telling you anything that's not true. I'm not telling you anything, that I'm just saying off the top of my head. I just feel like saying these are actual facts. So again, before I go over the comments and end the show, I'm just going to let you know that defamation and to prove, let's go over what defamation is first. Defamation is the act of communicating false statements about someone that damages their reputation. An opinion is a personal belief or viewpoint that cannot be proven true or false. So while you're looking and screenshotting everybody all day in the chat rooms, right, on their opinions about you based off of facts that they have seen and facts that we are aware of now, right? you can't take that to a court of law and claim these are damages, okay? Because these are actual, there's evidence of these things. There's actual evidence of you doing these things, okay? So I want you to know that you're wasting your time, screenshotting everybody's comments and everybody's opinions of you, and then thinking that you can use that somehow to threaten G Gates with a lawsuit, okay? And then also keep in mind that to prove these damages, because you have to prove damages, not just show him some screenshots from YouTube, okay? Which, by the way, you don't have to be watching. But to prove damages in a defamation case, you must show 4 things: that the statement is false, that the statement was published or communicated to a third party, that the statement was made with negligence, and that the statement damaged your reputation, okay? So all of those have to go together. Even if your reputation is damaged, if the evidence is true, it's not defamation. Even if they made the statement in negligence, if it's true, it's not defamation. Even if the statement was made to a third party, if it's true, it is not defamation. So I just wanted you to understand that, and be fully aware of what all of this means before we go any further, okay? Because, child, it has been a hot mess out here in these YouTube streets. People talking about, putting everybody in jail and all this other crazy stuff. But you really need to understand what, where you're going with this whole thing, okay? Now, let me go over y'all comments, and then we're actually going to end the show because it is Friday, and I want to enjoy the rest of my night, okay? I know y'all do too. So shout out to y'all for being in the building. Let me go ahead and go up here to the comments. Let's see here. Let's see. You said, Lord, you said he's using us as evidence. He can't take everyone to court. You'd have to prove each commenter is indeed them. Yeah, you'd have to prove that one of us is one of the people that contacted your alleged business partner. And also you'd have to prove that what they told your business partner is false. I mean, you read the text messages to us, right? And everything that you said in that text message was actually true. So I'm not sure where the defamation and the quote unquote damages come in, right? You said a lawsuit. Damn, P has been taking notes from the sun god, child. Very bad notes, by the way, child. And what's happening, Mona? You said they're saying he's sexually touching people has a direct effect on his business. He's a massage therapist. Exactly. You said, messy Mona, hey, make a change. I appreciate you being in the building. You said that affects his ethics. Hold on a second, guys. Let me play a quick timer for y'all real quick. Somebody's at my door, so hold on 1 second. I'm gonna give y'all a 30-second timer. Okay, so yeah, hey, you said, hey, the brown sugar baby. You said, wasn't he going to shoot Gates and send his wife? Yes, he was going to send her Sherry's berries. Now that's still a video that's still available to the public to this day. Okay, where you were on that video doing exactly that. Okay, yes, you have a business that a business that you are advertising to the world. Okay, so yeah, those kinds of things can most definitely affect your business partner's profits. Okay. If somebody decides to put bad reviews, if they decide to say, hey, the owners of this business, who's people that are claiming to be owners of this business, this is the stuff that they're involved with, right? This is the kind of stuff that may cause profit loss for such a business, okay? You said, so how did the number become available for someone to text the partner? Well, apparently, there's a phone number that is listed, right, for the business itself. I do know that because I looked at the Facebook page myself, and there's multiple photos. There's an address. There's a phone number. There's all kinds of stuff. There's ways to get in touch with this business partner. And it makes sense to me because this person is looking to advertise their business. They're looking to, how would somebody find you? How would somebody know anything if you don't put your address, your phone number, and things like that out there for people to be able to come to the food trailer. So it makes sense to me that that phone number is definitely publicly available. You said people saying he doesn't own the truck or business doesn't affect his money, ethics as it relates to his business, or ability to keep the business open. Exactly. Somebody's opinion of that really doesn't affect that. You know, what may affect it though is behavior of the business owners, right? How the business owners are carrying themselves, the kinds of things that the business owners are involved with, right? These are things that may cause people to, you know, cause profit loss for the business. So most definitely. You said they ain't lie though. I'm just saying, like nothing that the person said in those text messages were lies. There wasn't a single lie that was told. So I'm not sure where he thinks there's going to be some damage. You said that sounds like something Afro would say and do. I agree. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was anti-Afro that actually made that, that text and then put the 215 number in there to make it look like it was somebody from Philly that did it, you know, because she hates everybody in Philly. Shout out to Propane, Grow Man. Shout out to Me and Mines. You know, she hate everybody in Philly. So she would automatically want you to think it was somebody from over there. And your ass actually believed that shit. Like, that's the crazy part about it. That's the crazy part. You said, that sounds like old girl, child, don't it? You said, what's good? I'm tired of niggas acting like they tough, right? I'm just saying, what's up, Death Test Karma? You said, I am Nevia. They found the partner on Facebook and exposed the business name. Hey, Redbone, I appreciate you being in the building. You said, hey, T-Pre and chat. You said, Vicky, everyone's been saying it. You said, DC. You said, I see defrauding. Mm-hmm. You said, right, Vici. You said, nice brown sugar baby. I'm a little behind on this storyline. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just simply, you know, P basically put the business out there. He said it was his business. He's a partner in the business. And it turns out that Ohio is saying something different. And now he's upset and he's calling defamation on everybody. And then a mix of that, allegedly somebody texted his partner and said all of these very true statements about P. And now P wants to sue G Gates over factual statements. So, okay. You said, very true. You said, OMG, child. You said, but how is it defamation if he doesn't own the business? The owner would have to file OMG. And even if the owner filed, like, unfortunately, the statements that were made to the owner are not false. Okay. So I'm not really sure even what the owner has, you know, as far as anything. He may have something against P himself, but he doesn't really have, you know, a leg to stand on when it comes to the sector, because this is something that P told us, okay, that he was a partner in this business, you know, and you know, and it turns out he's not, according to the state of Ohio. And then, you know, he is the one that really is brandishing guns on YouTube. He really is threatening women on YouTube. He really is, you know, threatening people's lives and doing all this crazy stuff on YouTube, which could very well affect the business profits, which could very well affect the reviews going in on this business, okay? And people would do that out of spite, you know, just because they don't, you know, because they don't like P. That's also not a crime, right? That's also not something that's actionable in court. People can write reviews and they can do them anonymously and you wouldn't even know who it was, you know? And that may cause problems for other people who come back and read those reviews and now they don't want to come to that business, okay? So, yeah, I mean, I don't even know if the owner really has much of a leg to stand on when it comes to this, but most definitely may have a leg to stand on when it comes to P, right? Which is probably why P ended up with the text message. This is what my opinion is, okay? I believe, in my opinion, that is how P ended up with the text message, is because the owner of the business is so livid that P is out here doing this or wondering if this is actually true, you know, that he sent the message to P, okay? And P, instead of, you know, owning up to his real shit, and, you know, he decided to hop on here and scream and yell even more and do more threatening, and now threatening lawsuits because of actual truth, you know? That's unfortunate for you, P. But again, you might want to watch how you're carrying yourself in these YouTube streets while you're saying that you're a business partner with someone else who has nothing to do with this sector. You said it definitely wasn't me. It wasn't me either, child. You said, hey, Miss T-Pre. Hey, Taya Gray. I appreciate you coming in the building today. Vici, you says Messy Murph strikes again, child. You said, right. He said his name was on the business. Exactly. That's the things he said. And you laughed at Vici. Hey, Hoodie, I appreciate you coming in the building. You said, right. He said, for those watching my every chat, this is not me laughing at someone being doxxed. Okay, just saying. You said, Miss Murph. Oh, yeah, you know what? I had went back and looked at that because I wasn't really watching every part of Slander's show. I was working while I was going on. I did come back and look at that, right? And I seen that Breaking was saying some shit about you and how, you know, it would be your karma to be doxxed because you were laughing and all this. You know, she just needs to have several seats. I don't know why that girl keeps trying to be relevant in this sector. We don't fuck with her, okay? Like the frauding said, we showed that bitch the motherfucking door, okay? And that's just what it is. She just want to be one of these little stray puppies that keeps hanging around the yard, and we just keep letting her be out there. She got to find her own food and all that shit. We not feeding the bitch or nothing. If that's what the bitch want to do, let the bitch do that, okay? Until that bitch finds her fucking kids or until she starts taking care of her kids, she don't got shit to say to nobody in this sector, okay? And that's just that. She is the queen of doxing, the queen of disrespect, okay? And yeah, so we're not paying that bitch no motherfucking mind. And the moment that she finds somebody who has never gotten on a panel, we don't know their name, we don't know anything about them, right? We just know they come around, they hang out, and they support us, and that's all they do. The moment she finds that person, okay, bitch, okay? I hope at the same time she finds Aiden and finds Michael while she's trying to find you, okay? But that's all I got to say about that hoe, because we're not giving that bitch no more time over here. See it. And you said Mona, you said Murph, and you said, hey, Carla Martin, I appreciate you coming in. You said, hey, Miss T-Pre and Loungers, this is a great clarification in my humble opinion. Thank you, because sometimes we got to clarify things and help each other, you know, edify one another and help each other understand, you know, some of the things that we say, you know, because we say a bunch of stuff and sometimes we don't know what we're talking about, okay? I'm included, you know, there's times we really don't know what we're talking about and somebody has to help us understand, you know, what in fact this actually means. You said folks act like chatters can't laugh or state an opinion. They weak as fuck. Yeah, people need to stay, you know, I personally won't be in a space like stalking the chat on what everybody's saying and all this other stuff. If I'm, you know, if I don't really fuck with these people or if I really don't like, you know, the things that's being said, I'm not going to bother myself with that shit. I might listen to the content creator on what they're talking about. I might even skim through some things. But if I know that the chat room is going to just irritate me, I'll turn that shit off. I won't even look at the chat, right? It's so easy to do that. It makes life so much easier. And for somebody like Breaking the Culture who claims her life is so wonderful and everything is so great and she's living this great, beautiful life, why does she give a fuck about anything that people who don't like her have to say? Like, I don't understand that. You know what I mean? We don't like you, bitch. Like, it is just what it is. And we're entitled to that. Okay. We're entitled to an opinion of you. Okay. You're going to be mad every time that a motherfucker talks about you. That's just what it is. I personally don't give a fuck what the bitch say anymore. For real. You said Carla facts. You said P shouldn't have said nothing today because people will be calling that man's business all day. Never. OMG. Child, I'm just saying now, okay? Just saying that's what's going to happen because he's still threatening people, still out here with all the violence and all the nonsense and all that stuff. This is why they contacted your partner. I'm just saying. You said, did anybody say they got food poisoning or became sick after? These are examples of defamation as it relates to a restaurant. Those kinds of comments weren't made. Exactly. Like I could see if somebody even said that might even, you know, live up to defamation if you can't prove it. You know what I mean? Like if you haven't been to a hospital or something like that, a doctor to prove that you caught actual food poisoning that, you know, from that place. Because by the way, if you do catch food poisoning and you go to the hospital, they have to document that and send that to the health department. Okay. So, you know, if you can't prove that, you know, something was sent over to the health department behind that, then I really don't know, you know, how that could be, you know, proven as actual damages, right? You said no one made a false review or went viral making up false things about wait time, customer service, or cleanliness. Exactly. And even with the cleanliness and even the customer service, those are opinions, right? That's not really something that could be proven as true or false, because I could have really gotten a person who was very disrespectful to me at the trailer, right? And then you could go there and have an absolutely wonderful experience. My opinion of that is, hey, they treated me like shit, and I'm entitled to write a review about that, right? But if you don't have the same million people writing the same review, and then you've got another million people saying how wonderful you are, most of the, the wonderful reviews would end up drowning out that one bad review. You understand what I'm saying? So, these are not also things that could necessarily be considered defamation either. But, these are all based on opinion, and it's all kind of subjective. You said facts. You said, you'd think I would have to explain that. You think I wouldn't have to explain that. Exactly. Especially to someone who claims to be a business owner, right? You said, we are all adults, and that should be common knowledge. Exactly. Especially to people who own business. You say saying you don't own a business, even when you do, is also not defamation. That's an opinion unless you're, saying it, completely out of malice, right? You're saying, no, you don't own that. I know you don't own that. And I can prove it. And now I'm putting up paperwork, giving y'all libel, showing you some false evidence from the state of Ohio saying that he doesn't own the business. Now you've got libel, right? That is something that can be considered libel, right? But these are all things, that are really just kind of on the fence. You said, I still didn't get what Miss M allegedly did. Nothing. She just irritated and mad and just angry in life because she's an irritated bitch and she don't have shit, right? She's on her back sucking dicks and doing all this other stuff in dungeons. She's unemployed and she don't take care of her kids and she's behind in her child support. And that's why she wants all of us to be as miserable as her. And we're not. That's unfortunate for her. So screenshot that shit, right? You said, living life, I guess I called out her lies and BS one too many times, child. All right, y'all. Well, listen, we out of here. Everybody make sure that they hit the like button. Tonight we will be over at the front porch. If y'all going over to P show, that's fine. I won't be over there. But I will be at the front porch. I know he's going to be pretty long tonight, he said. So definitely looking forward to that. Let me go over the rest of these comments here. You said, Miss Murph, and so did a lot of people. Okay, a lot of people called out that girl's BS. So was she going to dox everybody now? This is what she do. But don't nobody give a fuck about that bitch. Like I said, dox Aiden and dox Michael, okay? And then, we'll be good from there, okay? Dox the child support office, okay? And we'll be there. We'll be good from there. You said, so would I be wrong to leave a review that the owner of this business called me a pedo several times today without giving any valid proof? You wouldn't, because he's claiming he's the owner, right? And, this is some really fucked up shit. So, no, I don't think you would. I'm just saying. You said nothing attacks Mrs. Murph for nobody attacks Mrs. Murph for nothing, okay? You said, I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. I'm a big girl. Okay, we all are, and we all are entitled to our opinions about people. We're going to speak things, especially when those things are rooted in fact. And that's just that. And people need to put on their big girl panties when they want to come around the sector. Okay. But, most definitely people need to realize and read the room and understand that people just might not fuck with you, bitch. Okay. How about that? Like, how about people really just don't fuck with you at this point? And, we're entitled to that because you're a liar. Okay. We don't fuck with liars. That's just what it is. But either way, yes, shout out to doxing child support, okay? But I'll holler at y'all. I definitely appreciate y'all for being in the building. What's up, Keeping It Plain? Appreciate you being in the building as well. You said T-Pre, hello in chat. But you got to catch the replay because I'm actually out of here. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way out. And guys, I will talk to y'all later. I'll see y'all around the sector. But tonight we will be on the front porch. Peace, guys. Thank y'all for watching. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and play a Breaking the Culture Gate. Because, we got to be reminded sometimes. And she also has to be reminded sometimes of all her goddamn lies. All right. We out of here, y'all. Peace, guys.
You could just completely try to bash my name in so that when I finally did talk, that whatever I said, people would be side-eyeing me. And the thing is that it don't really matter with the sector thing. But the people that I know certain things about, and those are the people that
do another live. Let's get messy for a second. Breaking has a file. This is how obsessive this motherfucker is. Breaking has files and drop boxes on everybody. If you listen to her talk, you can believe it. She actually saves recordings on a lot of motherfuckers in the sector. She puts them on files. She puts them in drop boxes on clouds. She got one on everybody. She got one on I. She got one on, tried to get one on me. She got one on Anti. She got one on several people in the sector. Several people in the motherfucking sector. Y'all don't believe me? I like to show receipts. I'm not going to show anybody's shit in the sector, but Little Knockout Media got one too. And I don't give a shit about him. He ain't in our sector. So here you go, folks. And y'all know that ain't mine because I don't watch that motherfucker. That's one of a few things that I got from this break-in. And she does have one on Anti. Now, if you don't believe me, click on that shit. And
I'll tell you why I say it works. I'll say this. I'll tell you why. So I've had CPS called on me, right? And I've had ACS called on me, CPS called on me, DTPP, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
No one reached out to her kid. Nobody now. Granted, do I know who her and her children and her entire family is? Absolutely. I know who your brother is. I know who your mom is. I know who your dad is. I know who your siblings are. I know who your aunts and uncles are. I know who your kids are. Of course, I know who you. I know your bitch. I know where you work. I know where you live. I know what your shifts are. What do you want to know? What do you want me to tell you that I know?
She has shifts. Oh, you mean like? Oh, I see. So she
Bitch,
works
I know
once a
when you
day.
clock in. I know when you clock out.
And clock
I
out.
sure
Okay.
do. I know your entire. I know who you are. Why wouldn't I know who you are? I did my research.
Because he really been out here being messy. And that ain't even half of what that ain't even nothing. Like, on some real shit. Him recording propane ain't shit. It's way worse shit. I'm just curious to see if he gonna tell it himself. Because he really been out here being messy. And that ain't even half of what that ain't even nothing. Like, on some real shit. Him recording propane ain't shit. It's way worse shit. I'm just curious to see if he gonna tell it himself. Because he really been out here being messy. And that ain't even half of what that ain't even nothing. Like, on some real shit. Him recording propane ain't shit. It's way worse shit. I'm just curious to see if he gonna tell on